Well, I moved to South Carolina in the mid 80s and had been active in politics in North Carolina. So, very first thing was to find the Democrats and the Democratic Party and all in South Carolina. And of course, I met at that time Representative Dick Elliott. And by 92, I was the party chairman of the Horry County Democratic Party, and it was the year he ran for Senate. And so was mighty proud to have been a part of that first campaign of seeing him from going from the South Carolina House to the Senate. And he was a wonderful senator. We could call on Senator Elliott for help, for information, and we have a little group called the Beach Dems Breakfast Group. And he was a regular. We would call on Dick to come and speak to our group and update us from Columbia. Of course, I was real involved with the Gallivants Ferry Stump. He was a regular, of course, always speaking at the stump. This last stump, we honored him with all his years of service and all of coming and supporting the stump. And we always had bumper stickers, and this is kind of a funny thing. We would, most people put the bumper stickers on just at the time of the stump, which is in the even years in the spring. But there was this van around town that always had the Gallivants Ferry stump sticker on, whether it was stump time or not, and that was Ann Elliott. So when we talk about Dick Elliott, we cannot without talking about Ann, because she certainly was a partner and the greatest help to him in his public service. Now, the funny part we'll talk about is Don here. Don was a great friend and is a great friend to Dick, and I'm going to get him to tell you some little funnies that he has to tell.
I was frequently approached by various and sundry people, and they would say, well, Senator, what can you do about this, or what can you do about that, or tell me about this, or tell me about that, and I'd say, I'm not the senator. Oh, yes, you are. You're the senator. You know, you're just trying to get out of this, you know. Or are you Nick Theodore? And we all looked alike at that point in time. Bottom line being that I would tell the senator, you know, I'll be your stunt double. You know, I'll take the dangerous stuff and you take the rest. But I had occasion on one event, I didn't know him really that well, and we had a after hours kind of breakfast with a group of people that had been to a function, and we were sitting around talking, and I had a question. I had an opinion about a statute that was before the legislature, and my opinion turned out to be dead wrong, because the senator was able to explain it to me explicitly, and it was a very complicated issue, and he went into minute detail as to why this would be good and this would be bad, and this would happen if this happened, and this would happen if this happened. And every time I turn on the TV now, I say we need Dick Elliott all over the place, because he takes those issues and he chews them up and he spits out the right answer. And I love him for that. He is a wonderful man.
Even though he's not serving in the Senate now, we still consider him our public servant and representative, because we know we can call Dick and get help for information or the right place to go for whatever. So thank you, Dick Elliott, for all your years of service, and we love you.
He will always be Senator Elliott.
Well, he had obviously being a senator, it's a bigger district than just your county. And I continue to say there are people voting Republican that don't really study the issues, and if they looked at the strong bottom line issues, they wouldn't vote Republican. But he did stand strong for his beliefs, and he was approached many, many times with every kind of deal there was to change parties. And that's worked for some and not for some, because sometimes they double cross. But we appreciate him for standing up for his convictions, and that people saw him for what he believed in, and he did get Republican support.
My answer to that would be that Dick was something that's very rare now. He was a statesman. He knew how to deal with both sides of the issues and both parties, and he understood the word consensus. And that was his bottom line. And he walked both sides, and he took both points of view, and he came to a conclusion, and they both understood that he was going to be correct in whatever he arrived at. So he had the respect of the Republicans as well as the Democrats
That's true.
and the legislature and the constituency.
That's absolutely right.
And if he looked you in the eye and said, I don't agree with you, then that's what he meant. I don't agree with you, but you might be wrong and I might be wrong, you know. But he listened. He was a listener.
I've been to many, many state events and social, political events and inaugurations and what all, and Ann was always lots of fun. In fact, we would be at the JJ dinner or something in Columbia, and there would be after parties, and usually Don and the senator and others would say they'd had enough and go on, but Ann was always game. She would go with you to the to the last event. So we've had loads of fun politicking and all with Ann.
Absolutely. She's a trooper.
I've been here almost 30 years, and I've basically met the Elliots just soon as I moved to South Carolina, and obviously, you know, to get involved in politics. So they have been a real backbone and strong support for the party, as well as, you know, public service. And having been party chairman, you appreciate those elected officials that do step up and speak out and stand up for the Democratic Party. And Ann and Dick both were big for and always willing with that.